Okay, and that's really the main difference between players that are considered top players, professionals, maybe even PR players, power ranked. Usually they have several game plans with their character. They can be playing Wolf, they can be playing Lucina, they can be playing Joker, they can be playing Roy, they can be playing Pitt. However, they have several game plans with those characters. Okay? They know how to switch it up. And once you think about it, a best of 3 set is very short. You're going to have to come up with things on the fly. Right? Now I understand, now thinking about it, now I understand why many people I've heard are call for best of 5s, even in pools, during majors and locals, because 3 games, sometimes you just play for like 6-7 minutes and that's it. The set is over. Right? I'm not really calling for bigger sets or anything. That's up to the tournament organizers, but I can definitely see the point. Okay, and this is something that players usually find difficult, adapting on the fly. It is a very difficult skill to master. Right, so I just want to put this down. Adapting can be very difficult to master. Okay, in my personal opinion, it is one of the toughest skills to master because, number one, it forces you to really change up the way your brain thinks, change how your brain focuses, right? Forces you to change how your brain focuses. Like, what does focus mean? Right? What does focus mean? What do you guys think, chat? What does focus actually mean? See, in situations like this, what usually happens is that we know how to play. All right? We know how to play. However, we let our subconscious do the work for us. Or I should say, this is a time where we need to put into our working memories specific habits. Remember yesterday I was talking about mind 1, mind 2, the subconscious, our working brain, and many times when we say autopiloting, we can actually play the game very well. Okay, we know what goes on. Okay, we can do this because I did it in Elite Smash, or I did it when I was practicing, but you don't know your opponent. You don't know how they're going to adapt, or if they know the matchup. And if they know the matchup, what are you going to do to adapt? And one of the biggest issues I've seen, even I've been guilty of it, best of 3, best of 5, game 1, we have to wait until at the very end, until we're final stock, final hit, final game, to finally adapt. The key is, how are we going to adapt quickly? I think that's the big question. How are you going to adapt quickly? Hey Nate, how do I do? Even in Elite Smash or in my local, I keep going 0-2, or I almost beat this PR player, but what do I do? Okay. My recommendation is you have to know what does focus mean. Okay, you have to know what to focus at the right time. All right, that's my recommendation. Let's continue writing. I recommend focus to practice focusing. Whoopsie. to practice focusing on, actually to practice focusing. Bam, that. Practicing how to focus. Okay, and that's really just putting your mind, especially that logical part of yours. How are you going to focus on a very specific habit? My recommendation is, how does your opponent recover? What do they do in disadvantage? That's probably one of the first things you should look for, because we tend to be creatures of habit, and if your opponent likes to roll from ledge, when you're in a pressure situation, when they're in a pressure situation, most likely they're going to roll. All right, so practice how to focus. What does your opponent do in disadvantage? Right? On the corner, in the air, falling down, coming down, on ledge. All right, just try or practice storing, I should say, one at a time. Practice storing info one at a time. That's my best recommendation. When I hit you with jab, they like to shield. So if I hit you with jab again, maybe I should go for a grab. Or in disadvantage, they like to roll. Okay, so in a pressure situation, they're probably going to roll. Okay. On ledge. Nope, on ledge. Don't correct me, Google Doc. Okay, so adapting can be very difficult to master, because it's one of the toughest skills to master, in my personal opinion. It's what separates the I don't want to say good players, but the good players from the better players. How quickly do you adapt? Some people just got it inside of them. They can do it. Others requires a little bit more work. All right, it takes step by step. And in Smash Ultimate, always remember, if you don't mind me taking my sweater off, the most important thing is to improve one by one. There's always time to improve. There's always an area to improve. Okay, it's a game of chance many times. Just want to move this real quick. All right. Let's get back. It forces you to change how your brain focuses. All right, that's why it's difficult to master. Number 2. We're lazy. We're lazy. It's not so much we as in you specifically. Yeah, you. Is your name David? Yeah, you, David. You're lazy. Me, Nate. I'm lazy. You, Reggie. You're lazy. No, not so much that. Right? It's not really an insult. It's just our working memory can only store so much information. Only so much information. So, which is why I recommend practicing storing just one info at a time. What do you do after in disadvantage? How do they approach? For example, when you master one, you go to the next. How do I know if I mastered that specific mastered adaptation. Answer: the decisions you make, honestly, the decisions you make are not like before. The game seems slower to you, so you know how to react. You know what's going to happen. That takes matchup experience. That takes a lot of time playing. Some people, it'll take more playing than others. You know, and that's what that means. Okay. You can only store so much data in our working memory. By practicing storing data one at a time, what happens is in our subconscious, in our sort of like mind two, that Daniel Kahneman says, speaks about, we enable that practice to become part of our brain. It becomes part of our thinking. It's working over all the time. Okay. By practicing storing data one at a time, we can make that that way of thinking, or that skill, innate, no pun intended, innate, or part of us. Instinctual. I cannot spell that. You know, the funny thing is, because we are always texting, we're always relying on spell check, sometimes we forget how to spell. That's my John, as they say in Smash. That's my John. Once again, we are analyzing Lyoko King Dedede versus Enki Pikachu tournament wanted in France. I believe they're both French players. Right now, I just kind of took a break from watching the set, because this Google Doc, it just proves really how deep Smash can be. And this is why I personally love it. You know, I love the psychological aspect of Smash Bros, of gaming, because I believe esports is just like regular sports in terms of psychology. There are many common things, and I'm definitely thinking about putting this up in on YouTube. But make sure you drop a follow for the stream. Make sure you drop a follow on my Twitter, NA_D3. I believe there's another underscore there, NA_D3. I'll definitely be putting some of the notes in Twitter so that you can share ideas. And if you're in a chat, say hello.